Good morning. I hope everyone's having a fantastic morning today. Last day of the week. I'm leaving Brazil tomorrow. I am possibly going to be there teaching on Monday. I'm still trying to change my ticket to see if I can make that flight at 2:20 from Amsterdam to Trondheim on Sunday. If I can't make it, then I'll make it on Sunday and I'll not be able to make it on Monday, in which case I won't be there physically. But you will have a class. So, Ballad of a Hero. I would like you to really reflect over this Ballad of a Hero. Here's what you're going to do you're going to listen and you're going to reflect. You're going to sit together and do the reflect and analyze. You don't have to submit individual pieces of work for this. You can submit per pair. For instance, if Ole Petter and Guru work together, Guru perhaps is in charge of typing everything. So Guru is the one that's going to submit it. She's going to submit it, send it in chat. I'm going to provide you with a link for you to listen. I also want you to think about what the concept of a hero is before you even do anything. I want you to think about the concept of a hero. What's a hero? Please type in chat. What's a hero? I want to hear your definition. What is a hero? Different people have different concepts of that. Every time I think my condition is getting better, I start coughing, and then I realize I'm not better. Not yet. So, what is a hero? When people think of a hero, there are several different definitions. Some people think of a hero as a superhero, somebody with supernatural powers, such as Superman, Wonder Woman, which reminds me that my mom was such a strong woman physically as well. She was badass. She was not afraid of anybody. And she was a hero to me. I remember in the 70s, we took a bus one time. And I think her car was in a shop. And we had to take the bus because we rarely ever took the bus. And this bus was packed. And somebody was right right next to us. I think it was a a young woman. I was a child, so I don't remember it exactly how it was, but so this person was trying to get my mom's wallet, and my mom kept moving away from her. At a certain point, my mom picked me up, and then she dropped her wallet, and this person took her wallet and was going to turn around and move away from us on the bus, inside the bus, but still away from us. My mom just grabbed her and she's like, "You bitch, you give me my wallet right now." And I remember she was holding on to me, and with the other hand she was holding the woman, and the woman was like terrified. And she gave my mom the wallet back. My mom was a hero to me. So you have heroes like that in real life, people that have done something out of the ordinary, or somebody that does ordinary things every day but contribute to your life positively. There are different types of heroes. There are national heroes, for instance. Can you think of people in sports in Norway who are considered heroes because they bring gold medals, because they bring the satisfaction and the joy that people have with watching sports? Sports heroes in Norway. Type in chat. I'm not going to recognize any of the names, so I'm most likely going to want to know who they are and what kind of sport hero they are. Perhaps type the name and type what sport they do. Because sports heroes, I believe they are a thing. Sports heroes have their place in society. For a lot of societies, when the country, especially if the country is poor or if the country lacks the satisfaction that the population has with other aspects of living in that country, the sport can be a big thing to give people that enthusiasm where they can get carried away in the sports, cheering for that team or for that particular sports person. And that can be a place of comfort. Other types of heroes. Do you know any stories of heroes, of ordinary people that have done extraordinary things? Type in chat. Type very shortly because if you if you type a very long story, I won't be able to read everything. But you can just say Magnus Coolstad. I'm just making up a name. He saved several children from a burning building in 1974. Hero. You know what I mean? Just type very shortly. And if you don't have a hero to talk about, just type I haven't had the opportunity to encounter such a hero. Remember to always be eloquent and elegant in your answers. There is also the story of a girl here in Brazil in 2008. I th- I'm going to say this happened in Sao Paulo, but I can't be 100% sure. I think it was in Sao Paulo, very far away from here. Okay. I live in Vix, aka Vitória. I don't live anywhere near Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is a different state and a different city as well. There was a girl. She was held hostage by her boyfriend in an apartment, and the police were doing negotiations to try to bring the kidnapper out of there, the terrorist out of the apartment. It was her boyfriend at the time. He couldn't accept the breakup. And they were in that apartment for hours, days. So her best friend offered to go into the apartment and try to talk to the guy. The police is supposed to do the negotiations, right? But in this case, the best friend went in there. The best friend tried to save her friend. She couldn't reason with the guy, and they both got shot, but the best friend survived. But she put her life on the line for her friend. This is the story of a girl named Eloa Cristina. I'm going to write it down for you in chat, and you can research on it later. This was one of the saddest cases in Brazil, and the girl who saved her, um, this is the girl who was held hostage. Let me see, her friend. Her friend's name was Nayara. There she is. She put her life on the line to save her friend. So heroes come in all sorts of different circumstances, and you can be a national hero or you can be an everyday hero. There is beauty and symbolic value in the word hero, to where you can use it to talk about a regular person that has done ordinary things, right? Poetry can be a powerful weapon, and many writers have used poetry or song lyrics to express their opinions. The two poems here both have powerful and important messages of protest. The first, I Too, was written at a time when African Americans were still second class citizens in the USA. It focuses on ideas of equality and self worth, protesting racism and inequality. If we were in the classroom right now, you would be reading it. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes. But I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. Langston Hughes wrote this poem. How many of you have heard of Langston Hughes? So I'm going to show you a picture of him. We have to study Langston Hughes in college to become English teachers in Brazil. Like a real English teacher, not an English instructor. An English instructor is somebody that teaches at schools just for language schools, but who don't have a diploma in teaching. But if you want to be a real teacher and teach at a regular school, then you have to study literature. You have to study pedagogical skills and didactics. And that's what I did. I have a bachelor's and a master's in teaching, both from Brazil and Australia. Here's Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes. Very important name for you to remember, especially those of you who are going to go on to study English in VG2 and VG3, because there will be a very important literature component for you that will be a part of what you're going to study. So you need to be used to, you have to be accustomed to analyzing poetry. You have to use literary devices. Can somebody name a literary device in chat, please? One literary device. Name a literary device in chat. We have studied many of them. We have talked about them in class. You may not remember, but maybe you do. So if you do, I should be seeing words such as metaphor, symbolism, hyperbole, pleonasm, irony. Those are literary devices. Let's take a look at this poem here, and I'm going to ask a question, and I want everybody to answer in chat. There's there is no right or wrong answer in this specifically because I'm asking you how you perceived this as a poem. How do you know this is a poem? Type in chat. When you look at this, I Too by Langston Hughes, how do you know that this is a poem? What tells you that this is a poem? Write like a couple of sentences in chat. And I'm telling you there is no right or wrong answer because I'm asking you how you realized it was a poem. I believe some of you will tell me because it's short, because of the line structure, the verses, right? What do you call a group of lines in a poem? A group of verses. Type in chat. Starts with letter S. I wonder if you do remember. I think you will remember it. I'm pretty sure that you will. Somebody will. And those of you who typed the word stanza, you will. Stanza in a poem. Let's take a look at it. In a poem, a stanza is a unit of lines similar to a paragraph in prose. They are grouped together to form a larger section. They are typically separated from other stanzas by a blank line or indentation. Stanzas can vary in length and structure, and while some poems have regular rhyme and meter patterns, they're not always required. So, what this means is that a poem doesn't have to have a certain type of structure to be a poem. You don't need to have rhyme in a poem. Nonetheless, they're often found in poems, but they don't have to be. They don't have to be. So now let's talk about the subject matter. And I too am America. I'd like you to type in chat some keywords in this poem that let you know the poem is about racism. words or lines. I think I explained it to 10th grade the other day that in Brazil, if you ask a person, "Are you sick?" They'll be, "No, no, I'm not. I'm not sick. I just have a cold." Having a cold is considered something that you can function when you have a cold. You can still work, you can still do what you need to do in life, so it's not considered that you're sick if you have a cold. In Norway, people will say, "I'm sick," if they have a cold, right? And I'm going to tell you, having a cold when it's not cold around you is a lot easier than having a cold in the middle of the Norwegian winter. That is the worst feeling because it makes your cold feel 10 times worse, makes you feel even sicker. All right, so those of you who wrote Dark Brother, Eat in the Kitchen, right? Those two can be powerful images of how different the treatment was back then. So, can you type in chat, what is it called in the USA when they separated black people from white people? There's a name for that, starts with letter S. Lots of words starting with letter S in this class. Stanza, and now this word. Those of you who wrote segregation, you are right. We have studied this. And I don't bring this stuff up just because I am blacker than Wesley Snipes, although it does have a personal touch for me because, come on, I live through this every day. But it is a part of what you're supposed to study. And I think it's very important to study the ugly parts of history without forgetting Black excellence as well. So it is important for you to know. Segregation in the United States, it was horrific. And there is a hero associated with the segregation in the USA who had something to do with a bus situation. Type in chat in one line who that person was and what they did. This is the name that comes up the most often whenever I talk about Black History Month, whenever I just bring up Black history. This person's name comes up very often. Yes, Rosa Parks, right? So the different treatment in the poem, perhaps an allusion to slavery, having to eat in the kitchen or being a servant, right? Often enough, even after slavery was abolished in the United States in 1863, Black people were still living under a regimen that made them less than, unfortunately. So if they were a servant, they weren't allowed to be at the table with the families. So they had to be segregated, separated to the kitchen. And this poem was written in 1926, obviously after the end of slavery. But the end of slavery was not the end of racism in the United States. As a matter of fact, there is still racism nowadays, which is very unfortunate. but it is part of the reality that we all face. Some will witness it, some will hear about it, some will do something about it, and some will just be like, ah, doesn't bother me. It's not happening to me, so eh. But some people are very engaged, even if they're not black themselves. Here's what you're going to do now. You're going to go to video number 2, which is for you to listen to Ballad of a Hero, and you will complete the activities below. I'd like you to write this down. One person is going to write it down, but I want small groups, okay? 2 or 3 people max. And one person in that group will send to me in chat the answers. Can be short answers. And at 11:25, 11:30, there will be a third video and the last one of the day. So go do that now, and I'll see you soon.